Hi, are you a weight loss surgery patient? Have you had regain? Well, today I'm here to talk about it. My name is Dawn Stefani, and I did a presentation this past weekend at the Community of Bariatric Patients of Southern Ontario's Fall Meet and Greet in Brantford, Ontario. I'm going to share my presentation after being asked to do so that other support groups could use my presentation for their members that were unable to attend. I am going to do a condensed version, not quite as full, obviously, because of time. So I'm going to go through, hopefully my program will make you think about regain if you've had it, make you think about regain if you haven't had it, and finally to get you thinking about regain if you are still in the first parts of your journey. A little bit of background story. I had my surgery in 2006 in Ypsilanti, Michigan with Dr. Poplowski. And I think I was chosen about regain to speak about regain at the conference because I'm very honest about regain and my journey. Today, if you're expecting to hear the secret of regain, good luck with that because I don't have it. My first question to you is, why did you have bariatric surgery? We all have reasons coming in to have surgery. Was it to get rid of your diabetes, so not to use a seatbelt extender, to be mobile, to have a smaller pant size, to not have medications? Well, whatever the reason, you know, we all have our reasons. For me, it was the fact that my mother had a massive heart attack in 2004 at age 59. She survived, by the way, but at that point when I was doing the research, I found out that I was now twice as likely to have a heart attack because 59 is quite young for women. So that really played into my decision point for me to have surgery. So I had surgery, and the first 6 months, the first year was wonderful. It's what we call the honeymoon phase. It's amazing. It works. And it works because we're so careful early out. We're committed to ourselves. We're the most compliant patients ever. We measure, we weigh, we use a shopping list when we go shopping. We prepared and planned meals in advance. We knew what we were going to eat. We knew we were going to exercise. We weighed in weekly. We took our vitamins, and we didn't really take in liquid calories unless they were protein shakes. Remember that? So, you know, the first year goes by and it's pretty amazing. For me, I had such an easy peasy recovery. It was amazing. I was sure I was going to be like the weight loss superstar. I knew it. Surgery was really paying off. I got compliments like you wouldn't believe. My motivation and focus was strong. And it was like, wow, I can eat just that little bit of food. It's wonderful, but I feel good. You can still eat treats when you're in the invincible first year. You absolutely can. And you're still going to lose weight. That's the amazing thing. That's why it's called the honeymoon period. At that point, I decided I was going to create a support group in my community. And I had a million non-scale victories. And I was pretty sure that I was going to be unstoppable at this weight loss surgery thing. But, you know, it's great to be at the top of the mountain. The view is really great up there, but what goes up often comes back down. When I was a year out, I had a blog back in the day, and my year out blog, I realized, and I wrote it down, that I still needed willpower as a post-op, that I was now physically active and healthy. I had no medications and I had no migraines. My back and knees pain were virtually gone, and my blood work was pretty good. But I knew that the real challenge was beginning at that point. I reached 139 pounds, which was my lowest ever, and I'm quite a big framed person. And I was quite happy at 139, although I think I was there for like one day, but oh well. So anyways, I felt really great, and I was amazed, and people were telling me how great I looked. And then I got into maintenance mode at about a year out exactly. So, you know, I'm reading my Weight Loss Surgery for Dummies book. I'm reading all the books that I have, and I'm realizing that, you know, there's no huge chapter on regain. There's like this much about the eating phases, this much about all the problems that can go wrong, this much about everything pre-op and post-op, but there's no maintenance represented in there. Maintenance was like maybe a page or two or a paragraph, and yet it is now going to be the rest of my life. Like, hello? You know, I was thinking, here I am, I'm going to conquer obesity. This is going to be my shot. Well, you know what? Wasn't to be. You know, as I started to get a little bit lax, a little bit, how can I put it? A little bit lax, a little bit eating more things that I'm not supposed to. I can start to see how this is going to become a challenge. I started freewheeling, which meant, you know, starting to have dessert, starting to treat myself, starting to have those liquid calories. And soon, after a while, dun, 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 the scale is now going up. The pants are getting tight. I'm realizing that this is going to be really hard work. You know, at the beginning, weight loss surgery was like, oh my goodness, he's like the best guy ever. It was like a marriage. And I was thinking that this weight loss surgery guy was like perfect. He would bring me roses, take me out to the fanciest restaurants. And guess what? After a while, he's leaving his socks on the floor. He's leaving a sink full of dirty dishes. I'm realizing that this is not all going to be easy peasy. And this is going to be hard work for the rest of my life. I'm starting to get tired. I'm getting tired of writing things down. I'm getting tired of using MyFitnessPal. I'm getting tired of reading labels. I'm getting tired of planning ahead. I'm just getting tired. And so I start testing my limits more and more. I start having more things that I shouldn't have. And guess what? When you keep testing your limits, the scale starts to creep up. The clothes start to get a little bit tight. Your self-esteem starts to drop. And now you start to get to be concerned. And one day you just want to take that scale and you want to throw it out the window because it's getting to be difficult. There's a reason why it's called the honeymoon phase. You know it. All throughout your journey, you were looking at those targets. Am I on target? Am I on target with my weight loss? Am I at target at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months? Well, guess what? After a while, you realize that you're starting to get on target with regain because there are targets with regain. You think you're going to be the one that is not going to have the regain. I don't know anyone actually who plans to have the regain, but I'm just saying. Why are we exceptions to the rule? Why do we think we're going to be any different than the rest of the population? We know that regular people that don't have surgery, who lose 10% of their weight, often regain that 10% in a year. We know that people on the Biggest Losers that have been the biggest superstars gain their weight back in 5, 6, 7 years. We know that success does not mean perfection. Regain is normal. If you look at the statistics, it is absolutely normal. And for the first 2 years, they say you will probably lose 70% of your excess weight. Well, guess what? In 5 years, my program says if you lose 50% of your weight, you are a success at the 5-year mark. So they're expecting that 20% to come back into your life. The reality of statistics is that the weight loss patients, you are at your lowest weight between year 1 and year 2 out of surgery. And by year 5, if you've maintained to keep off half of your excess weight, you are indeed a weight loss success. And yet, that's not what our society tells us. We automatically think we're going to be in one of two directions. We're either going to be failure, which means that we gain weight, or success, which we keep it off forever. There's a middle ground there. It's called success with regain. It means that you have success, that you've done very well with your surgery, but you've had the typical regain. And that's actually, guess what? That's success because you've kept off weight. You might not be keeping off 130 pounds, but you kept off 100 pounds or whatever your numbers are. Congratulations if you didn't have regain. You're amazing. And you've conquered your eating issues. You've done a really good job at managing them, I should say, actually. But you know what? If you had regain, you should congratulate yourself too, because every day you are fighting the fight to deal with what issues made you obese in the first place. And, you know, you got to give yourself some grace. Success comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's a matter of keeping some of your weight off or most of your weight off more than being able to say you've kept off all your weight forever. Because for most of us, that does not happen. Regain, I kind of put it this way. Your skin, your excess skin, is a manifestation of the weight that you lost, correct? Right. It is just a result of you losing the weight. It shows on your body. Well, your regain is like excess skin. Your regain shows that you are still fighting the fight against obesity. It shows you that that is kind of like your excess skin on the inside for what you're dealing with and what eating issues you have. It shows that you are still a work in progress and you are still dealing with those issues every single day of your life. You need to be kind to yourself if you had regain. you need to make sure that you remember that, you know, regain often happens when we stop paying attention. Your life gets busy, your eating issues return, and it's normal. And you're normal. And it's okay. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be highly emotionally charged for many of us. Sometimes people perceive it as weakness or failure. It is not. It is just the fact that you are fighting the fight, and you're going to be fighting this fight against obesity for the rest of your life. And guess what? I'm fighting it too. The thing is about regain is we think we have to be perfect in our weight loss surgery, and we don't have to be. And it makes us embarrassed, and it makes us shy, and it takes us away from the resources and the support that we need. It makes us avoid events like our support group meetings. It makes us avoid help, like going back to our physicians, going back to our bariatric centers. We need to get past that, and we need to stop being silent about our regain and stop being embarrassed about it. Instead of saying, I lost 150 pounds, but I lost 150 pounds and I gained back 20 pounds. I'm going to say I have kept off 130 pounds for 11 years. That is a much more positive message to myself when I talk. And that's how we should be talking, is we should be talking about what we've kept off and what we've managed to keep off all this time. Make ourselves go up that mountain instead of keep talking about what we've regained and keeping ourselves at the bottom of the mountain. Regain is the hardest thing to work with because it's all you. It's not about your surgery anymore. It's all on you. And it's about realizing that you are not going to be the perfect weight loss surgery patient because this surgery fixed our bodies and did not fix our brains. We have to still work on that internal baggage. We have to work on those habits. We have to work on those cravings, our metabolism, our hunger. All those things are back and we have to deal with them. And my goodness, if you're like me, I had a lifetime of fat brain training. I had surgery at age 36. That doesn't get fixed up in 1 year because I had weight loss surgery. It's something that I have to keep working on because I don't know naturally how to be thin because I've been overweight since childhood. It is a physical reminder. Regain is a physical reminder that we are not experts at this surgery and we are living it every single day. We are a work in progress and we need to be kind to ourselves about that and not keep saying we are failures. We need to hold ourselves accountable, but also give ourselves some grace and say, guess what? I'm normal and I've had regain and I'm okay. I don't like it, but I'm okay. I'm still a success. Yet we have to stop comparing our journeys to everyone else because there's always going to be someone who's smaller and thinner than we are. And that person fresh out of surgery who's wheeling and dealing in a size 2 is not me. That will never be me. My journey is against my comparison, my journey, my fight is against the old me. And I'm not that person anymore. So I need to recognize and I need to look back at the reasons why I had surgery in the first place. Guess what? I am healthy. I am fit. I am active. I'm not going to have a heart attack. Thank goodness. I hope. You know, there's always that genetic component. But I've set myself up in a path to success that is far better than where I was. And if I had not had that surgery 11 years ago, I expect I would have gained another 50 pounds in those 11 years. So I am so thankful that I can say that I am 160 pounds. I am size 12, sometimes 10, depending on what. Everybody's different. You have your numbers. Recognize that where you would be without the surgery is a huge place. It's a different place than where you are. You are not a failure. You have done tremendously. And please give yourself credit. Anytime that you think you hit the top of the mountain, the truth of the matter is you just reached another mountain. And you need to work on that next mountain. And it's there to climb and it's always going to be there. You need to move forward. You know, it's like you have a carton of eggs, 12 eggs. You break 2 of them. You're not going to sit there and say, oh my goodness, I just broke 10 eggs. I'm useless. I'm a failure. No. You're going to say, you know what? 2 eggs, big whoop. I have 10 perfectly beautiful eggs to make souffles with or whatever. Be thankful about the eggs that you still have and give yourself credit for taking care of those eggs. You know the habits that you need to get back to as a weight loss surgery patient: portion control, exercise or active lifestyle, hydration, water, nutrition, protein first, vegetables second, fiber-rich foods, vitamins, supplements, personal accountability. Reach out and talk to people. Find your community. In April, I was struggling. I'll tell you. I was at the highest I've ever been. And I threw out to my support group and I said, I want to have a support group. Can somebody want to join my Biggest Loser contest? So I put it out to the universe. Guess what? Like 20 people responded. 20 people who we were all little islands who had no support. We came together once a week and had support. 20 islands coming together, making a team. That's support. So I put it out there. I put it into the universe, even though it meant kind of embarrassing myself, saying, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Can you help me? Can you support me? And I found a group of people, and I ended up winning that contest because I needed that support and I asked for it. So whatever support you need to ask for it. You need to not be embarrassed to go to your center. You need to not be embarrassed to go to your support group. You need to embrace that. You need to get out there and you need to find support wherever you can get it, whether it's in your community, therapy, eating disorders. For me, I'm a binge eater, so I looked into our local eating disorder place. Overeaters Anonymous, going back to Weight Watchers, seeing a dietitian, social worker, whatever it takes. Try different things. It's kind of like you have a rash. Regain's like a rash, okay? You go, you get a cream, you try it out, doesn't work. Doesn't mean you're a failure. You don't go to the doctor saying, doctor, I'm a failure, I'm going to have this rash forever. No, you're going to try a new cream. You're going to go try something brand new. What can motivate you? I think at year 5 or 6, it was a marathon. I signed up for a marathon. Who knew? I did it for 5 years. For 5 years, those marathons kept me motivated. I've done Weight Watchers numerous times. I go to my support group. I get out there. I ask. I find support for me. I look for it. I talk to people online. I stay online and I talk about Regain. And I help lift people up. And people help lift me up. You know, you focus on what you've learned. Sometimes you're not losing weight. Sometimes it's just about maintaining where you are and not gaining weight. I know that story too. Sometimes you just have to make peace with where you're at and say, okay, for right now, I'm going to start with these 5 pounds or these 10 pounds. Or my goal for the next month is just not to gain any weight. And I'm going to do what I need to do. I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that haven't worked yet. And that's what it's going to be about for the rest of your life. We all know how to lose weight. Maintaining weight is completely different. As we transition, we have to say, you know what? Obesity is a disease. It's okay to struggle, and I'm going to make mistakes. I have to give myself some grace. You have to talk to yourself like you talk to a friend. Because you know what? When my friend's down, I don't talk to her the way I talk to myself. You need to remember, you're going to have the motivator here. You're going to have the critic here. The motivator needs to do the talking. And if the motivator isn't talking, you need to help the motivator with the words. So you have to practice those things. You have to practice giving yourself some grace and saying positive messages to yourself. And you need to ask for help when you need it. Connect with your why. Why did you have surgery in the first place? Look at that list. Are you still a success? Are you keeping most of those things at bay? Can you walk? Can you move? Think about those basic things that you had surgery for. Get out your fat pants. Try them on. Seriously. Walk around with them. Learn to improve your self-talk. Talk with your mentors, your support group. See your center. And know that, some days you're just trying and you're going to keep trying. Research from Stanford University shows that successful weight loss surgery patients are 3 more times likely to participate in in-person support groups than their less successful counterparts. Go to your support group. And you know what? Don't go once. Don't go twice. Go lots of times before you say it's not for me. Because you know what? Making one connection or meeting 2 people is worth it to have that support team. You can have your own network of friends. You can meet for coffee, not even at your support group. Whatever. You need support. Stop saying, I failed, I've had Regain. Say instead, I'm a work in progress. I'm still working on my eating issues. I've kept off X amount of pounds, and I don't care if it's 10 pounds. You've kept it off. Think about that. I'm a weight loss surgery success story, and I am still writing my final chapters. I'm perfectly imperfect. That's mine. I am amazing. And most of all, stop expecting other patients to be perfect, because you know what? We're all on these online support groups, and we're not doing things correctly when we put other people down and we say, you weren't ready for this journey, you're going to be a failure. I've seen that. Like, why? Why would you put that out into the universe? To anyone? Why would you do that to a person? To mankind or womankind? I'll tell you, I never thought I was a failure until someone pointed it out to me. There was a question online and I responded to it, and that person said, well, why would they listen to your opinion? You had Regain, you failed at this. I am not a failure. I'm working every day, working hard to fight against my natural body tendency for obesity. I am a woman who is from a line of many obese women. I am a person that works every day to fight my binge eating disorder, and it's hard some days. And let me tell you, it is the hardest work I've ever done. First year, no. Second year, yes. And third, fourth, fifth, seventh, all the way to 11 years of managing these eating disorders. It's hard work. It's not easy. Make sure that you don't put it out into the universe that somebody's going to fail at this. Uplift. If it comes between being kind and being right, always choose kind. Support people. That's what we're supposed to be about. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Move on. Block that person on Facebook. But remember, we need to uplift and we need to uphold the values that people matter. And you matter, and I matter, and every single person out there matters. And we need to give them positive messages, because guess what? You know, I didn't start struggling till I was 2 years out. If they're struggling at 1 month out, you know it's going to be hard. You know it's going to be really hard for them. And they're going to need love and kindness. And they're going to come back and they're going to ask for help. And they don't need to be told that they're struggling, because they're struggling already, just like I was. So be kind. Choose kind messages. There's nobody that's perfect out there. Don't expect other people to be. If you don't expect other people to be perfect, and I don't expect other people to be perfect, then maybe this culture about Regain will go away. And we won't expect other people to be perfect weight loss patients. And we'll accept people and we'll support people. And our community will get stronger. Motivate, encourage, support patients out there. Share your struggles. Share your honest story. Talk about Regain in your support groups. Don't close it, and don't pretend like it is disheartening, because it's not. It's real life. Regain is a part of the weight loss story. It's not our final chapters, though. It doesn't mean we're not going to stop fighting. But it's still a part of the story that we might still be continuing to write. Choose to see yourself as something other than a number on the scale. If you are early out, write down those other measures of success, those non-scale victories, because I didn't do enough of that. And I was all about the numbers, and that killed this part right up here. Change your self-talk. Instead of saying, I lost 100 pounds and gained back 20, say, I have lost and kept off 80 pounds, and I am all that in a bag of chips. Okay? I don't really say that, but I'm just saying. Anyways, acknowledge those amazing people that you know that love, support, and inspire and encourage you. Because they need to be told that they are also inspirational. And when you set that path up, the people that come behind you will recognize you as supportive, inspirational, and they will encourage you. They will do it back to you. It's a reciprocal relationship that we have in this community. Know that you're not alone unless you choose to be. We are a team, and we need to fight this together. I'm going to leave you with one thought, and it's this. It's a story of the old man. He was going across a river. He was setting out on a journey across the land, one way for his retirement. So as he started crossing this really difficult river, he had to kind of jump from stone to stone. And as he's jumping from stone to stone, he's realizing that this is so hard. He's falling in the water. He's getting up. He's putting himself back up on the rocks. And he's so exhausted because it is taking everything out of him to get through this huge divide. And he's struggling, and he is so struggling. And he's almost there, and he stops for a minute, and he thinks. And he turns back around, and he goes back, all the way back to the shore from which he came. There's this man watching him the whole time, wondering what this old man is doing. Why didn't he cross that river? The old man gets out his tools and starts hammering, cutting down trees, sawing down logs, nailing things. You know, he's got his tool belt on him, and he starts building this bridge across the river, for which he works on for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And this man at the side of the river is just incredulous. He's like, what's going on? This old man could have gone across the river. What is going on? I have to talk to this man. Why is he doing this? Why is he building this bridge? So he goes up to the old man and he says, "Old man, why are you building this bridge? You got halfway across the river and you were halfway there and you stopped and you turned around and you made more work. Why would you build a bridge that you don't need when you're only going one way? Like, it's strange. I don't understand it." And the old man said, "Well, you see, I knew it was going to be a struggle. I knew it was going to be hard work. But if I build this bridge, all those people that are behind me, they're not going to have to struggle. I build it for them, not for me." That's the message for this community, is we need to build bridges and we need to help each other. Talking about Regain, treating people kindly takes no money. We need to use our support groups. We need to embrace our support groups. We need to embrace all the talk about all the different levels of success, because we are all amazing patients. We are all unstoppable, and we all need support. So from me to you, I wish you well in your journey. I hope that you will make an effort to talk about that Regain struggle. I hope that you will make an effort to support people that are coming up behind you and build bridges. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a good day.